23-year-old Tanya Nicole McGowan of Jacksonville, Florida is behind bars for allegedly beating and starving a 5-month-old son to death. At 6:17 p.m. on Sunday the 11th of December, medics responded to a 911 call regarding an unresponsive infant at an apartment located at 14200 Duval Road. When first responders arrived at the residence, they located the motionless infant and transported him to University of Florida Health, where he was pronounced dead shortly thereafter. At around 8:45 p.m, deputies with the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office responded to the hospital, where they were informed of the infant's death. They were also told that Tanya left the building immediately after son was pronounced dead. Medical staff told a detective that the child was emaciated, weighing a mere 7 pounds at the time of his death, which is less than half the average weight of a child of his age. The detective on scene described the boy as appearing extremely malnourished to the point that the victim's stomach was caved in and his rib cage protruding. The victim's face was thin and his cheeks were sunken in. A medical examiner determined that the infant was severely dehydrated and malnourished, finding that there was no evidence of food in the child's stomach or intestines. Investigators visited Tanya at her home that night, where she consented for the scene to be processed. Inside, detectives said they found the home cluttered with little to no furniture. There was only a single container of baby formula and 2 bottles in the home. While interviewed, Tanya said she put her son down at around 8 p.m. the previous night. She woke up at around 11 a.m, but did not check on her son for 3 hours, at which point she assumed the boy was still sleeping. Tanya said that she fell asleep again and woke up again at around 6 p.m. She then made an 8-ounce bottle and went to wake the baby up for a feed, but he was unresponsive. Tanya said that her son's mouth and eyes were open. He was pale and cold to touch. During the investigation, management at Tanya's apartment complex spoke to detectives and expressed concern about the well-being of the baby. Management informed investigators that on the 6th of December, Tanya was inside the common area of the complex when they heard slapping sounds. They looked into the area and found Tanya with the infant and another small child. Surveillance footage of the incident provided to investigators showed Tanya lying the infant on the couch and then walking away. The victim is covered in a baby blanket. Tanya returns to pick the baby up and then forcefully slams him back onto the couch. She then grabs the child by the head and face and forcefully twists her son's head to the side. She then covers the baby's head with a blanket and strikes the baby on the back repeatedly with an open hand. She walks away again for a brief moment, but returns and repeats the abuse before grabbing a large throw cushion from the couch and placing it over the child's head and walks away. Tanya told investigators that her son was born in July. She said that during the first 3 months of his life, the baby lived with his father. She said her son was initially breastfed, but transitioned to formula in November of 2022. She said this transition occurred about 2 weeks after the baby's father moved back to Texas in October. She said that during the time he was alive, he was never seen by a doctor after being released from a hospital after she gave birth to him. She said she noticed the baby appeared to be slimming down, but thought her son looked that way because he was growing in length. Detectives viewed images of the infant on Tanya's cell phone. The images began in September of 2022. At that time, the baby appeared to be normal and healthy. As additional images were viewed at the beginning of November, there was a vast contrast in the infant's appearance. The child was noticeably thinner in both his face and body. On the 14th of December, Tanya was taken into custody and charged with child abuse and child neglect over the infant's death. She's currently being held on a $1.5 million bond and is scheduled to appear in the Duval County Court on the 5th of January. A doctor was found unresponsive in a Manhattan, New York park with his throat slashed and he'd been stabbed multiple times. At around 2:15 a.m. on Friday the 23rd of December, a passerby discovered 60-year-old Bruce Henry laying unresponsive on the stairs near Harlem Fire Watchtower, located near 120th Street. No weapons were found nearby, and the authorities were alerted. At around 3 a.m, medics pronounced Bruce dead at the scene. Police have not released a motive in the slaying, saying they are unsure why Henry was in the park at the time of his death. He was due to turn 61 the following day. Just hours earlier, he is seen driving his car out of his Bronx apartment building garage. No arrests have been made to date. There are no cameras in the 20-acre park, and police are searching for a video of him entering the park to determine if he entered the park alone or with another person. The authorities said that the park is known for its drug problem and for prostitution. Henry was a pediatrician in the Bronx and has been in practice for more than 20 years. Neighbours of Bruce said he worked long hours at the hospital and he was always travelling. He lived alone at the apartment, but was occasionally seen with visitors. It was unclear if they were friends. colleagues or family. The investigation into the matter continues. 24-year-old Wilson Justice Smith is behind bars in connection to the fatal shooting of 22-year-old Akira Razor on Thursday morning. At around 1 a.m. on the 22nd of December, authorities responded to reports of a woman down at a residence at the Burford apartment complex located at 314 Cambridge Avenue East in Greenwood, South Carolina. Upon arrival, officers found Akira in a bedroom with a gunshot wound. She was pronounced dead at the scene. Wilson was identified as a suspect and he was arrested. He's held at the Greenwood County Detention Centre without bond and he's charged with murder. An autopsy is due in the coming days. The authorities said that the case remains active and further details will be released at a later time.